We are now moving to our annual award ceremony. We have 3 possible awards that we can give each year, and this year we discerned giving one award, the Gaudiem et Spes Award, to someone whose contribution and commitment to the values of the Second Vatican Council has been exemplary. To present this award today is Nelsa Elias.
Thank you, Jeff. We are pleased to announce that NALM is offering the Gaudiem et Spes Award this year to someone who needs little introduction to lay ecclesial ministry leaders. Accepting the award posthumously is Dr. Richard Gallardi's wife, Diana Gallardi. Richard's passing last November stunned so many of us, and his life and legacy continue in our memories and in the ongoing development of co-responsibility in the Church. The Gaudiem et Spes Award recognizes persons for promoting understanding of the Church and the world according to the vision of Vatican II. The Gaudiem et Spes Award is a special tribute presented on occasion by the Board of the National Association for Lay Ministry to an individual who, in an exemplary manner, evidences commitment to the vision of the Church as articulated in the documents of the Second Vatican Council, and who in a special way advocates and fosters the enhanced role of the laity who respond to their baptismal call to ministry in the Church and in society. Dr. Richard Gallardi began his career as a pastoral minister before studying theology at Notre Dame. He became a renowned ecclesiologist, the Joseph Professor of Catholic Systematic Theology at Boston College, and an award-winning theologian. He was a respected and preeminent voice in the interpretation and reception of Vatican II and questions of authority in the Catholic Church. In September 2022, Boston College hosted a conference to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Gallardi. As a scholar, teacher, and mentor, hundreds of theologians and former students gathered on campus for the event titled New Direction in Ecclesiology, the Contributions of Richard Gallardi. The conference included an address by Dr. Gallardi, one he dubbed his last lecture, on loving and reforming a holy yet broken church. Dr. Gallardi was a member and past president of the Catholic Theological Society of America, the largest professional association of Catholic theologians in the world. As the National Association of Lay Ministry, we honor these amazing accolades of his life and ministry and recognize his legacy today as a voice for the laity. He raised his voice to articulate in both sophisticated and simple ways that the laity of the Church, by their very baptism, are called to co-responsibility for the mission of Christ. Further, he advocated for a greater shared leadership and authority of lay ecclesial ministry leaders in the Church. We are forever grateful for his life of discipleship and his legacy. Since his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, he started sharing his thoughts and reflections on CaringBridge. His reflections came out this month in a book titled, While I Breathe, I Hope, a Mystagogy of Dying. He continues to make a lasting impact on all of us. NALM has made a donation to Good Shepherd Community Care Hospice in Newton, Massachusetts, in Richard's name. Richard is survived by his wife Diana of 34 years, his 4 sons and 1 grandson. Diana has agreed to accept this award for Dr. Richard Gallardi. Please join me in welcoming Diana Gallardi.
Well, I'm so honored to be here today to receive the Gaudiem et Spes Award on behalf of my husband, Dr. Rick Gallardi. I have a kaleidoscope of emotions that wash over me at this time. There's so much pride that I feel in what Rick has done. a touch of sadness. Only 4 days ago, we would have celebrated our 35th anniversary. And immense gratitude as Rick is honored with such a prestigious award. I'm so grateful to the award committee and to the National Association of Lay Ministers for recognizing Rick's life's work. He had a passion for the church, and particularly in these times of change, his passion and love for the church fueled many of his writings. It was his unwavering faith and dedication to the life of the church that has been a constant source of inspiration in our married lives also. As many of you know, Rick dedicated a significant portion of his career to understanding Vatican II and its impact. He believed this council was a pivotal moment and a call for a more participatory church where all voices, lay, vowed religious, ordained, could contribute. He wasn't just an academic. He was a man of prayer. He was ignited by the possibilities of Vatican II Council. Rick's writings, especially An Unfinished Council, Vatican II, Pope Francis, and the Renewal of Catholicism, explored how Vatican II opened doors for a greater role for the laity and for a more vibrant Catholic community. Rick did not shy away from the realities facing our church today. He saw the brokenness really as an opportunity for growth and a chance to truly embrace the spirit of Vatican II. Rick envisioned a church where the laity weren't simple passive members, but active participants, sharing their gifts and talents to strengthen the body of Christ. He believed that a church empowered by the laity could better serve its communities and fulfill its mission in the world. During Rick's life, he was a lay minister. He started that way even before he got his doctorate from Notre Dame. He was a catechist. He was a lector. He was a marriage preparation leader and an active lay minister in our local parish. And likewise, I'm happy to say that his model has inspired our sons, who are also young adult leaders in their local parish. One is a president of the parish council in his parish. This award is a wonderful recognition of Rick's lifelong dedication to the people of God, but perhaps I feel his most profound work has come later. It's in the face of his own mortality. His recent book that you mentioned, While I Breathe, I Hope, A Mystagogia of Dying, is a deeply personal reflection on finding hope and meaning in the face of death. It was Rick, always the theologian, yet utterly human, sharing his vulnerabilities and his unwavering faith. On caringbridge.org, Rick revealed his final journey with such grace and honesty. And many of the people on the Caring Bridge responded to him, saying how touched they were and how they could understand his journey. I've used the caringbridge.org in my work as a hospice social worker to let families know how they can communicate with one another about what's going on with their family member, but also so that the family could express their appreciation for all the gifts that people have given them throughout the time that they're journeying toward death. Rick wasn't afraid to grapple with big issues, big questions like the whys, the hows of dying, but also found moments of joy and quiet beauty, even in the face of his illness. I remember one time Rick just looking out the window into our backyard, which has woods in it, and in a more beautiful way than many of us can feel, sensing that imminent presence of God in a way that that those of us who feel we have a lot longer life left don't appreciate as much as those who are at the very end. This was Rick, ever the intellectual, ever the man of faith, but also a husband, a father and a grandfather of one, and a friend, finding humor and light even in the darkest of times. Our family wants to thank the association for their generous donation in Rick's name to Good Shepherd Community Care. It's the oldest hospice in Massachusetts, the nonprofit that I work for because Rick really wanted me to continue to share my gifts. And a community of hospice that has supported our family during all of Rick's end-of-life journeys.
Mhm.
I know that Rick would be deeply humbled, but also incredibly energized by the work that you all are doing. Thank you so much for the commitment to the church that you've given to the church and for helping to build the future that Rick so passionately believed in. He may be gone, but his spirit lives on in the vibrant tapestry of the church and in the hearts of all those he touched. Thank you so much for offering this wonderful gift to Rick.
Thank you, Diana, for accepting this award for Richard, for your faithful witness to God, our church, and your family and your husband. We're so sorry for your loss and pray for God's very best for you and your family.
Thank you.
Patrick put a link to the booklet, to the book that Richard wrote, Mystagogy of Dying. And the title is, what is the title again, Diana?
It's While I Breathe, I Hope.
Beautiful. Thank you.
He would always sign all of his caringbridge.org reflections with Dom Spiro Spero. So that's the While I Breathe, I Hope.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you.
On a personal note, when Diana and I first met a couple months ago, she had shared with me that this book was coming out, and her husband died of pancreatic cancer. My dad is in the end stages of pancreatic cancer, and I just got a copy of the book two or 3 days ago, and I'm flying out this afternoon to go spend a week with my dad and his final journey, and I'm going to share some of that book with him. And what a neat way that God works in all of these situations and just continues to offer healing and hope through this. So thank you so much, Diana. We really appreciate you being here and accepting this award for Dr. Richard.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
And blessings for you and your family as you're
Thanks.
striving toward the end of a very sacred time, sacred journey with those who are
Thank you.
dying.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.